Good morning, class 11. Welcome to BBBN online classes. So, children, you are at the verge of completion of grade 10, and practically before even completing grade 10, you are in grade 11. So, whatsoever it is, whatsoever the condition will be, in 11th mathematics, we have in all 16 chapters. Okay, so we'll start from chapter number 1 and gradually we'll see how much part we'll be able to finish in these online classes. And let's hope very soon this pandemic will be gone and we'll be back to the school with our offline classes, physical classes, right? So till then, if at all you have opted for mathematics, let's begin with it. Let's go with it. Okay, chapter number 1 of mathematics grade 11 is sets. So these are the topics that we'll be trying to cover in today's class. Okay, so first one is introduction of a set. The question is, what is a set? So very simple. A well-defined collection of elements. Simple definition. Now, the thing is, we need to understand well-defined collection. Collection of element is a set. Any collection can be called as a set. I have a set of 5 jeans, I have a set of so and so trousers, whatsoever it is. So it is a collection. Any collection can be called as a set, but the collection has to be well defined for it to be called as a set in mathematics. Mathematically, what is well defined? Suppose I have a statement. A collection of all the good batsmen in Indian team till date, right? So this is a statement. If I take this collection, so for every different person, every individual, this set may be different, because maybe some of you, say for example, let's take an instance, there is a batsman, say Rohit Sharma. Someone may consider him as a good batsman, some other people may not consider him as a good batsman, right? So this collection will differ from person to person. It is not unique, it's not same for every person. So we cannot call this collection as a well-defined collection. Okay? So this is not a well-defined collection. This collection cannot be called mathematically, it cannot be called as a set. Right? Let's take another statement. A collection of all the rivers in India. This is a well-defined collection, well-defined, gathering. All the rivers in India. So for every person, the elements in the sets, the rivers, they will remain same. It doesn't differ from person to person. So it is a well-defined collection. Right, children? The first part, introduction of the set. Any well-defined collection of elements is called a set. Well-defined means the set, the elements, whatever you are putting in the set, every person should have the same elements. Every person should agree to it. It should be universally accepted, right? So a collection of all the rivers in India, this is a well-defined collection. This is a set. Okay. Next part. Representation of a set. How do we represent a set? Every set can be represented in two different forms. What are they? set builder form, or second one roster or list form. As the word says, set builder form, a mathematical statement based on which you can have the elements of a set and you can build, you can construct a set. That particular format of representing is known as set builder form. Second one, roster or list form. This name itself says that the elements, exactly the elements will be given. Okay, let's take an example. Sets are generally represented by capital English alphabets and it has to be in flower brackets. A equal to X. X is the general element of the set, such that A is a set which has a general element X. X can acquire many values depending upon the way we are giving the mathematical statement. X such that X belongs to N. X is an element of capital N. Capital N stands for the set of natural numbers and X is less than equal to 6. This is a mathematical statement. Okay, based on this statement you can build a set. So I have represented a set in set builder form. So let us build the set. So what will be set A? General element X. What is X? X is a natural number. Then what? X is less than or equal to 6. So all the natural numbers which are less than or equal to 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the same set. So the first one was the set builder form and the second one is the list form or the roster form. This is how we represent a set in general. Okay children, set builder form and roster form to represent any set. Next comes the empty set. Empty set means a set that does not have any element. Empty set can also be called as a null set or a void set. Say for example, set A, X such that X belongs to N and X is less than 0. X is a natural number and it has to be less than 0. Less than 0, we do not have any natural number. So set A is an empty set. You can represent an empty set in this manner, empty set, no element. Or you can represent it by Greek alphabet phi. A null set can be represented in two different manners. Okay, but please don't write it as this is wrong. You cannot represent it. It means a set that contains an element of Greek alphabet phi. Okay. So this is not the correct representation of a null set or an empty set. So empty set has to be represented like this, or it can be symbolically represented by Greek alphabet phi. Say for example you have set B, X such that X is a boy studying in a girls' school. So if the school is specifically, exclusively for girls, we don't find any boys studying there. So set B will be an empty set or a null set or void set, whatever you call it, represented in this manner or in this manner. So hope you understood what is an empty set. Next, finite and infinite sets. As the name itself suggests, if the number of elements in a set are countable, if you can count the numbers, then it's a finite set. The set is called as a finite set because the number of elements are countable, finite. Else it is an infinite set. Means if we cannot count the number of elements in a particular set, then we call it as an infinite set. If the number of elements are countable, then it is a finite set. Say for example, capital N stands for the set of natural numbers. There are infinite natural numbers, so this is an infinite set. W stands for set of whole numbers. We have infinite whole numbers. We cannot count all the whole numbers. So this is an infinite set. For example, I have a set. All the persons on this planet, all the people of the planet. This is a finite set. Number of persons living on this planet is a countable. We can count them. We can have exact number of people in this world. So it's a finite set, right? But if you say set of all the points in a Cartesian plane, two-dimensional plane, x-axis, y-axis, number of points. So there are infinite points in a Cartesian plane. So this is an infinite set. Hope you understood what is a finite set, what is an infinite set. Next comes equal sets. Say I have a set A. If in any two sets the elements are exactly the same, all the elements of A are also the elements of B. All the elements of A are also the elements of B, and vice versa. Means all the elements of B are also the elements of A. It means they should have exactly the same identical elements, right? All the elements are identical, number of elements are same, and one thing, the order can be different. Order doesn't matter, right? But the elements must be identical. All the elements of B are contained in A, all the elements of A are contained in B. In that case, we say set A is equal to set B. Okay, this is about equal sets. Every element of A should be an element of B, and every element of B should be an element of A. Both ways. Only then we can call these two sets as, equal sets. Next comes subsets. Subset means a part of a set. Suppose I have a set A. Another set B. Here, since every element of B is also an element of A, therefore B is a subset of A. This is the symbol that we use for subsets. B is a subset of A. Like if we say B is a subset of A, then what is A of B? A will be called as a superset of B. If B is the subset of A, then A is the superset of B. For example, you have 2 is a factor of 6. then what is 6 of 2? It's a multiple. If 2 is a factor of 6, 6 is a multiple of 2, right? So this was about subsets. Certain peculiarities of subset. Like children, when you have studied factors, we study that every number is a factor of itself. Every number is a factor of itself. It means every set is a subset of itself. Every set is a subset of itself. Also, a null set or an empty set is a subset of every set. Empty set is a part of every set. Like we say, first statement, every set is a subset of itself. Like every number is a factor of itself. Empty set is a subset of every set. Like we say, 1 is a factor of every number. Right? Even if it is a prime, 1 is one of its factors. So we actually say prime numbers because they do not have prime factors more than the number itself, more than 1. Okay. So every set is a subset of itself and a null set is a subset of every set. So this was about introduction of a set, representation of a set, the empty set, finite and infinite sets, equal sets and subsets. Other topics will continue in the next class. Till then children, good luck that you are in grade 11, and really if you have opted for maths, please take it seriously, and you can download the NCERT textbook if you do not have. You can download the PDF file of chapter number 1, and I strongly suggest that you go through the contents that are given in the NCERT textbook. See, chapter 1, it means it doesn't start from exercise 1.1. Before exercise 1.1, lot of things are given in the book. Please go through them. That will help you enhance your concepts. So develop this habit of going through the content that is given in the NCERT textbook children. Okay, so we'll meet in the next class and move ahead with the chapter. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye.